Well, we're back for another episode of Uplifting Buzz podcast, and we are thankful that everyone is joining us on this wonderful and awesome Tuesday as we progress along with an awesome show. And we continue to ask you to invite your friends, your loved ones, your followers to tune in and listen to Uplifting Buzz podcast every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm your host, Gary Johnson. I'm joined by my co-host and my wonderful co-host, Mr. Marcus Grove of Uplift Mobile. And this show is being presented to you by Buzz Report Media and Uplift Mobile, two powerful media companies right here on the Gulf Coast in the city of Mobile that's bringing light to things that are happening around us here on the Gulf Coast. As we are honored to have each and every one of you with us as always, we have some interesting topics to talk about on today. And just a reminder that this is a non-biased show. And then the topics that we're discussing, we don't take no sides with one person or the other. We just bring you the facts and have a clean, unbiased dialogue about what's happening and what's important to you in our community. So that being said, let us jump right on into our show on today. Mr. Grove, I'm glad to be back on this wonderful Tuesday. Glad to have you back, man. How have your weekend been, and how is your week going thus far?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. It's going pretty good. I feel like we've been away from this podcast for so long, even though sometimes these weeks go by pretty fast, it seems like we have been away, and so much has been going on. So much has been happening, and but this week is going pretty good. It's pretty good weather out there, feeling a little chill. So Gulf Coast is feeling pretty good right now. Feeling good.
Yeah, the temperature have starting to cool off, and we're waking up to some cool mornings, and we can say winter is on the way, and fall is in the air, and it's feeling good out there, as you say, and I'm glad to be in this part of the year. I love this part of the year, fall and springtime, but I don't like too much of the summer and the winter. But hey, it is what it is, and thank God that we are living. Man, I'm telling you. Well, we talked about District 2 so long. There's no breaking news in that situation. We talked about the elections in the past few weeks and months since we've been doing this podcast, and bringing up the community and the residents here in Mobile on that. But man, over the weekend, it has been a violent weekend this past weekend, especially in the state of Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
After high school football games, there have been a shooting after high school games in several parts of the state. I think 9 cities in the state, or school campuses in the state of Mississippi this past weekend have experienced deaths and shootings in the state of Mississippi. Yeah. In Leland, Mississippi, there was a mass shooting where 2 individuals killed, if I'm not mistaken, and nearly 20 others that was injured. You had shootings at Aircorn State. You had shootings at Jackson State football games. And these high school football games. I think there was one in Macomb, Mississippi, further up north Mississippi, on the other side of Jackson, or in Jackson. But then also, let's move on to the east side of the country, to South Carolina at Willis Bar. You had a mass shooting Sunday night, or I want to say, there at that club where a mass shooting took place, where I think 4 people died and multiple people was injured. And some are still fighting for them lives. In Alabama, this past weekend, not this past weekend, but the week before, on a Saturday night downtown Montgomery, we had a mass shooting where several people was shot and 2 people died. The young man and the lady that passed away from gunshot wounds downtown Montgomery. In Mobile, we had they want to say mass shooting, but I don't consider a mass shooting. But this happened at the club here on Navico Road, Halls Mill, Navico McVeigh area. Where individual died. 2 people I think died in that incident. and several others were injured. Of course, there are shootings happening all across this country. Guns are rampant. They're in the hands of everybody. Anybody can get a gun off the streets now. You can buy it without even going to a pawn shop or a gun show, getting it registered. You pay about a couple $100 on the street, they get you what you want. Or let's say like as the mainstream media is talking, it's in the hands of the wrong individuals, such as those that has mental illness, causing these crimes. I can't blame it all on mental illness. I just blame it on the person or the individual themselves that picks the guns up and commits such heinous crime. Because if the person knows what they're doing when they pick the gun up and what their intent was, they knew what they were going to do in the first place. Now, I'm not saying that so many people don't have any mental illness, because there's a situation close to me where this guy that has a mental illness, and the police, the local law authorities, and mental health organizations here in Mobile refused to do anything about it or get him some help. He was living on my property, my grandparents' property that I inherited. And it was hard to get him off. Matter of fact, he burnt one of our houses down on that property. But that was our next door neighbor, young guy, that he shot and killed in the middle of the street at the end of that street over a lawnmower. And I do know for a fact he had a mental illness. But he should be somewhere getting the care that he needs. And maybe if he had gotten that, we wouldn't have had that situation. But I'm just saying, man, Mr. Grove, and to our listening audience, that these shootings is getting out of hand. Yeah. And we're making the wrong decision and the choices to handle situations when we're picking up a gun to use a gun, to try to make a statement and try to solve a situation. And that don't have to be the case. That don't have to be the case when we can literally have an adult conversation about whatever it may be. If somebody owe you money, hey, it's money. It's not like money gonna save us. We can't take it to the grave with us. Just all this materialistic stuff. Over girlfriend, boyfriend, domestic violence situations. If a person don't want to be with you, go find somebody else that does. There's too many people out there that's single that's looking for nice individuals. We're using these guns in situations that we don't have to. Let's look at Pritchard on Sunday morning, or was it Saturday morning? Someone killed someone right there in the back of the church. Come on, in the back of the church. And you leave this guy right there in the back of the church when the people have to come to a place of worship, and knowing that individual was killed right in the back doorsteps of the church. Come on now. So, I'm just saying, we have to find a better way to handle our situations on the street, in our homes, on our jobs, whatever the case may be. I think about the young man that shot and killed his coworker over in Pascagoula about a month ago. It's just happening everywhere. Gun violence is happening everywhere. It is not in one particular neighborhood. Mr. Grove, it's not just in the black neighborhood. It's happening in the white neighborhood. I just seen where a young man was sentenced for killing his dad or granddad or son. It was just a white guy. Gun violence is happening in every neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Some neighborhoods don't experience it as much as others, but gun violence is happening everywhere, man. And not only that, we got to find ways to end gun violence. But we have to come up with programs and initiatives as government officials, community officials, church religious leaders, community leaders, that will curtail crime in our local communities. We have to put on programs and offer more job training, educational programs, more programs that are more attractive to individuals, and especially our young people, that will keep them from the streets, because
Yes.
the streets are causing this. And a lot of this rhetoric that we are now hearing on social media, that's encouraging a lot of this as well. We need to put our kids back from social media, so.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just being honest, because they're listening to these rap songs and all this music, the reality shows, and I'm just gonna call it. I mean, some people say, "Well, oh, I ain't the fault. I'm not doing. I'm making my money." Yeah, you making your money, but you're causing you're influencing the lives of others in a negative way. In a negative way, because I mean, they're taking that as, I mean, they don't know if you real or for real or not, and they're taking that and running with it, and they're using it and practicing it in their situations. You know, um, we need to be more positive in our messages, so that it can have a more positive impact on the lives of others and the decisions that they make after they are following us. Because if you're a rapper and you got millions of followers, they're looking up to you, they're listening to you, and whatever
Yeah.
you say, it has a ripple effect on somebody's life, Mr. Grove.
Yes. Yes, yes. I'm actually, I mentioned before that I'm actually creating a book called Without the Gun, and it chronicles deaths, especially high profile deaths by the gun in the last 2 to 3 centuries, and since pretty much the inception of the gun. And in reality, what we would do if um, we have to discipline a child. What we would do is, short of giving them a spanking, we would take away their toy. We would punish them in some type of way, a shape or form, and that punishment would be in disciplining them by taking something away, by by making them understand that, hey, we are in control of the situation, and we need to punish them by taking away that very thing that they refuse to share, or that is causing them to be whatever. The problem with human beings is we have not reached a point in time where we are mature enough to utilize the gun for its intended purpose, uh, which is the right to bear arms, which is in defense of ourselves. In the case that the United States government rose up and tried to enact different type of powers against us, like King George III did in England back in the 1700s. So for us, we utilize it in various ways that's damaging to our society. I think that, um, if we really wanted to manage this gun violence thing, if we truly wanted to manage it, we should take away the ability to create, to buy guns, to have guns. I think that in the southern United States, Florida, Alabama, and Mississippi, Georgia, all of these Republican controlled states, what they have done recently is enacted laws that creates this idea where you don't have to have a permit to purchase a gun, which gives any and everybody the ability to have the gun. Or no, I'm sorry, not the permit to have purchase the gun, but basically you don't have to have one to carry, which gives any and everybody the right to carry, except for people with felonies. But the idea of that is, and supports um, people of non-color, right? The idea of being able to protect themselves has always been what they desire, and understandably so. You have crazies out here. Regardless of what race you are, you need to be able to protect yourself and your family. But I don't think that it has reached a point in time where we are mature enough as people to have a gun. Individually, yes. There are individuals out there who have never shot at somebody, right? And but at the same time, if we have something and never utilize it, that with every passing day and year, that creates a time that we do want to utilize it. So in a lot of ways, we have to actually go out and we have to go out and practice at it. We have to go out and practice, utilizing the gun in a lot of different ways. But I think that if you take it away in its entirety, which is highly impossible in the United States at this point. But I do believe if you do take it away at this point, you would have you would decrease gun violence, uh, in those areas where that would be pretty much prohibited. Um, but is that even possible, right? Is that even possible is the question.
Right.
Is
Yeah,
that
man. And I mean, we have, yeah, it's a good idea, but it's just getting people to actually sign on and support good initiatives. Our communities are so divided that, you have to be on the coattail of this person or this organization or this or that to get support from this or that and all that so forth.
yes.
But if we stand united and support the cause of productivity and effectiveness and strong will within our communities, we can be a better community. We can have better results when it comes to projects like yours and many others that's out there. But in order to do that, man, we really have to step up and be leaders and stick together and work together and to make things happen.
Yeah, yeah. I think that organizations like Uplift Mobile, you have other organizations in Mobile that actually try to push positive, uplifting type of parameters and communities. I think all of those play a role, but I think all of those also exist on a limited basis, Uplift Mobile, Stand Up Mobile, or Vivian's Door. You have countless others who exist on a limited basis because of lack of funding, lack of all types of different reasons, but most of it is funding. And, if we could also shift our thinking into what will actually uh, what will actually assist with decreasing gun violence. If the government is interested, then they should be funding these organizations, for profit or not. Um, because historically they only fund nonprofit organizations. But if they actually got into some of these for-profit organizations in these communities and who is striving to, decrease gun violence and troublesome areas in communities, that would be amazing. But then again, does the government truly care about stressed communities or de-stressing those communities that's stressed? Is it does it play in their favor? And because of the one-sided government that we have, that is not diverse like it should be, the care and concern for stressed communities is just not there. Usually these elites, people with money, get into power that come from uh, non-diverse communities, and they can care less about what's going on in Pritchard. Long as they just don't spill over to Cottage Hill Road. And that's just the reality.
Right. Uh, man, I'm telling you, man, we're gonna have to really do something as a collective body to come, to try to change the minds about, especially our young people, because we're losing too many of our young people,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to do something. Something has to be done. It hurts me to see that our religious leaders sitting on the sidelines, and we wait till happen in our backyard before we can come out and speak about it.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting for that 5 minute of fame on the news to get say, well, they're doing this and that, but you don't hear from it no more. And I have heard that many times. I've seen that many times. People get on these organizations, they come up with these names of these organizations, and they get out there and they say, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and you don't hear from it no more. They just wanted that little TV time to say, oh, I'm out here doing something,
Mm-hmm.
but man, we have to come together, man, and stick to the plan. Stick to the plan and the motive and the goal of the plan, and to get results out of it, effective results. We got to touch these communities, man. We got to go into the schoolhouses. These churches, man, is open in our communities when schools are not open, or they can be, and bring these people into these programs and host programs. It's not you don't have to teach them Jesus every day, all day. There's more programs and ways to reach people through church. You know, uh, you know, a lot of people give up because the lack of knowledge, the understanding, or not having, such as education, not knowing how to read, not knowing how to write. And the first thing a young person say, well, why does it matter to me? You know, I ain't gonna get a good job anyway. I'm gonna go out and see a dope. I can get more money that way. You know, we can change that mindset by bringing a 16-year-old, 13-year-old, 12-year-old into our fellowship halls or classrooms at the church, sitting down, teaching them the basics of how to add, how to read, how to do subtract, how to multiply, you know, how to do job applications. A lot of people don't know how to fill out job applications because they can't read or they don't understand what they're asking for. And then another thing, we always looking for the government to do this and that, such as providing IDs. Why the church can't help our communities, the citizens in our communities purchase an ID? What's $30? you know Pastors getting thousands of dollars every Sunday just to be there. Just to be there. Musicians also getting thousands of dollars just to play drums and keyboards. And you tell me we asking for our parishioners tithing and offerings, but we can't give back to the very communities that we say we serving as religious leaders as a church? Come on. I mean, the Bible says that people will fall because of lack of knowledge. We should be helpers one to another. If Mr. Grove is falling and lacking, and he expressing it in so many ways, I should be a listening ear and a concerned friend enough to say, well, man, what's going on? How can I help? How can I help? And not only that, not asking the question to be nosy, but also being the help that a person needs. Because that
Right.
goes a long way and that can save a person. The thoughts of a person commit suicide. Why did they commit suicide? We don't know because we wasn't there to talk to them. But if a person was there to talk to an individual to see what they're really going through, then maybe we could be on the sideline or stepping in, being a help to one another or that person. That's what we have to do to try to, combat some of this evil violence that's happening, and it's not slowing down; it's continuing to grow throughout our communities and neighborhoods.
Yes, yes, yes. I like that what you said about, helping each other, there's organizations out there that have a mentor menteeship program, a lot of people don't know or didn't have the mentorship growing up. So, you know, when that type of situation presents themselves, they feel a little bit uneasy with listening to someone who's more uh, educated, mature, or just seasoned in knowledge. So, I think that a lot of times too, people just fail to desire to listen to those others, who have been there and done that, because they feel, first of all, it's their first encounter with something like that. And so they
Right.
feel, uh, uh, they feel less than, listening to someone else. And a lot of it is because they've never experienced. And I think that if we actually have a lot more mentors that strive to mentorship, get out there and strive to, and it doesn't mean that you have to be, twice as old as this person, or you have to be, you know, because it can be a learning experience for the both of them, the mentor and the mentee. But the mentor needs to have enough wisdom about themselves to be able to attempt to steer that person in the right direction. And it doesn't mean that just because you are 30 years old that you don't need a mentor. It's mentee and mentorship, goes beyond age. When Confucius had his students, a long time ago, Confucius was teaching people of various ages, 20s, 30s, 40s. You know, he was teaching people the same age as him at sometimes. Even though he grew in age, he he uh, he was a mentor to people of varying ages, various crafts, because people came to him for knowledge. It didn't matter who or where you were in life. It's people that sought Confucius out just because he was Confucian. So I think that we should let go of our pride in a lot of ways, and attempt to listen to others, attempt to understand others, and a lot of that comes with the ability to uh, reason, and the ability to be more of sound mind. And I think that in a lot of ways we we lose ourselves after we graduate high school. After we finish that early stage of our lives, we lose ourselves in some ways, and for some people they don't, but some people they do, and the ability to create, which is a big part of who we are, you know, is lost. It's not saying that we can't pick it up again, but we need to be able to create. And without stable jobs, without stable uh, relationships, heterosexual relationships, you
Mm-hmm.
know, we get to a point where we lose ourselves to a system that we feel don't care about us, um, especially for, individuals who have not been in two parent households. They feel like, oh, it's a, you know, let's just say they lose their one parent that they do have, then what else do they have to live for, especially at a younger age? These people are very vulnerable. And I think that in a lot of ways, we don't look at ourselves as vulnerable. But in a lot of ways, our communities are so stressed to the point where we enter into that vulnerable stage for every age group, every person in that locale. So if you look at, District 2, for instance, that's a high black population. District 1, District 3, District 7. You can really say these areas are vulnerable, you know. And you can look at, let's just say, District 4, for instance, which is encompassing most of where the mayor Sandy Stimpson lived, and where the new mayor coming in lives. Those places around there, and by and large, it's not a vulnerable area. You have some parts of it is, yeah, but not all of it. And so I think that, we really have to understand that vulnerability comes also in where we live at. District 7, for instance, you have Mobile Terrace and Hillsdale Heights that have historically been stressed. But
Mm-hmm.
what is really being done about it? And forget about the blame game. What are we as a community doing about it? uh I think that you can really just say nothing. And so what do people do? You hear sirens and you see murders and on TV in your neighborhood, like, wow, that happened. Oh, I did hear sirens. And thing is, we know that those things are going on right around the corner from us,
Right.
very close to home. When it happens, it goes away, and then we live for another day. A couple weeks later, a couple months later, there's something else going on. And I think that for these areas to really call for unification, really call for uh putting guns down. I really think it needs to be more of a community thing. Yeah, it can be spearheaded by organizations, uh, but when the NAACP have their rare, random uh, event downtown calling for no guns, uh, that speaks for a lot. But you know, on a real level, money needs to transverse, and when you have a national organization that's not fueling the local organizations, you're not going to have much going on. It's just not much going to be going on. You're going to have some speeches, some talks, maybe a walk, and that's about it. So I just think that
Right.
for energized activity needs to happen from uh, the grassroots area, all the way up to the top, because the top is not going to do it. They're more concerned about their balance sheets year after year.
Correct. Correct. And yeah, just end on that note, man. Yeah, we got to stand up and be better role models, mentors, and leaders within our community to help get around to changing the mindsets of our younger generations that's coming up. And some of those that are older as well, that's battling different situations within their homes, jobs, communities, finances, or whatever it may be, to let them know that it is a better way, uh, rather than just hollering at them or, encouraging them that, oh, yeah, jail is waiting on you. And jail is not waiting on you.
Mm.
It's only waiting on you if you want to go. There's a better job that's waiting. There is a better wife that's waiting. There's a family that's waiting. Better income that's waiting. There's more positive things that's waiting on the individual besides jail and a grave. So we got to start like being more role models and mentors to our fellow brothers and sisters, that you said, Mr. Grove, and you made a big point there. And that's very important. And I hope those that are listening would take that in. And we're going to get ready to wrap this show up for today. Trickle back to what we've been always talking about with District 2. There has not been any new updates in the movement from the courthouse or the individuals that's challenging the election results in District 2 here in the city of Mobile. So we're just waiting for the 24th, which is the next hearing, before Judge Hambright to decide where this case is headed, and when she issues her judgment on that day, when she have the next hearing. And that's about it, man. And Mr. Grove, it is in the middle of open enrollment for Medicare, and I know that you're working diligently, helping individuals get enrolled into Medicare and to help care uh, programs, those that need it. And I want you to share with us once again how they can get in contact with you and what do you offer. And I did have somebody reach out to me, and I meant to text you and ask you this, and I'm glad I'm talking about it. Kind of touch on they just got enrolled into Medicare this month. And new to Medicare out the gate. They want to know can they come to you and get a healthcare plan from one of your companies?
Yes, yes. So, Medicare enrollments actually kicks off on tomorrow, October 15th. It goes all the way to December 7th. And this is a crucial time to get signed up for Medicare. So if you have a red, white, and blue card in the mail, which individuals turning 65 usually get 6 months prior to that birthday. And so if you or do you have that in the mail? You can go to www.workwithgip.com. It's an enrollment survey link there. It's a telephone number you can call to set up your appointment. You can, first of all, you have to do your survey. You know, you have to fill out the survey, any type of medications you have, any doctors that your primary doctor or specialty doctors that you have. And then the survey usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes to complete. And then what you would do is set up an appointment, and one of the Medicare certified Medicare enrollment specialists will call you to assist you with setting up your Medicare plan, depending on what you need going forward. You know, some people, need more benefits in the Part A or the Part B or Part C or Part D. And that's what we specialize in. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. We have a lot of outreach to cover over the next 53 days of enrollment. And if you have any type of Medicare enrollment questions, any type of Medicare enrollment needs, then reach out to us at workwithgip.com, and we will set you up with a Medicare professional here, located here in Mobile.
That's awesome, man. And hope everyone got that information down. This open enrollment starts tomorrow. If you want to switch a plan or you need a plan, be sure to go to that website and contact Mr. Grove and his team, and they will get you all hooked up and fixed up before the next year comes in, and with some quality health care that you can afford and that you need. So make sure you take care of that, and your loved ones, your mom, your dad, make sure that they're on a program that meets the needs of their illnesses and stuff like that. Doctors and whatever medication. That different plans cover different stuff. These are the guys that you need to talk to make sure that you're on the right plan or they're on the right plan to meet their needs. Okay. All right. This has been another show of Uplifting Buzz. Mr. Grove, it's such a pleasure to have you each and every week, twice a week on the show. As always, man, I'm thankful for you for joining and partnershiping with the Buzz Report. Teaming up to bring this podcast to our listening audience. And as we get good feedback thus far, we want to continue to invite each and every one of you all to continue to listen each and every Tuesday and Thursday. To also hit that share and like button and share it with your friends and family as we go along to continue to spread positive, good news to our community, keeping our communities up and informed in an unbiased way. God bless you until we talk again Thursday. This has been Uplifting Buzz podcast on this Tuesday. God bless you.